Now, was your dad a singer?
No, he's a 5-string banjo player.
Was he really?
He sang, but you couldn't exactly call him a singer. But he did Watermelon on the Vine and Golden Slippers. And he would pick them and sing them. He entertained us kids with his banjo. In fact, that was the first instrument that Ari and I used. Ari learned to play, not like Earl Scruggs plays, but just more or less frailing.
Old-time clawhammer?
Yeah. He learned that, and that's the only instrument we had. And we ran into a neighbor who had a guitar, and he would come with his guitar and the banjo, and that's the way we did for a while. We got away from home, won a contest in Chattanooga. You had to win 3 weeks running to get the prize, and the prize was a 15-minute radio show on a little 250-watt radio station at 4:30 in the morning. And so we had a day job, called it a day job. I worked at the Peerless Woolen Mills and the cotton mills around Chattanooga, and you'd do your shift, and then sometimes you had a show date, and you go do your show, and then you come back home and get an hour or so sleep. You go up, do the little radio program, and then go to the mill and work 8 hours, and then another show. And but the first show that we played in Jasper, Tennessee, a little place about 40 miles this side of Chattanooga, maybe 35. And we played upstairs in the courthouse, where they hold court at. And we made $100 apiece.
No kidding.
That night, just the two of us. Well, that's as much money as my daddy could make in a month.
Mm-hmm. And you were how old then?
I was 14. Ira's 3 years older than me. But that ruined us there. We thought that that's the path that we wanted to.
You got spoiled.
Yeah.
So what songs were you doing then when you went to do that gig, when you were doing your radio spots?
We were doing definitely the Knoxville Girl. We picked up Mary the Wild Moor when we became more commercial then. But we were singing Katy Dear, Knoxville Girl, and a lot of gospel songs. At one time when we moved to Memphis, we got addressed to the Louvin brothers, not counting the Eddie Hill mail, but mail addressed to Louvin brothers, 10,000 pieces of mail in 1 week. And we weren't selling nothing. It was like, sing this song, sing that song, just the old gospel songs and the stuff. Like Knoxville Girl was the most requested song that Ira and I ever sang. And that don't say much but we found out people liked the song, and if we didn't do it, somebody in the audience would get mad.
Holler it out.
So we started including that always. It was the old songs that got the request. Mm-hmm. You could do a brand new song that 20 years down the road it might be a good song, but they didn't want to hear that. They wanted to hear what they'd already heard you sing.
So the ballads were songs that people had heard from their parents and their family.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
So who taught you Knoxville Girl, Katy Dear?
My mother knew the Knoxville Girl, and she could sing it. Mm-hmm. She sang the Katy Dear. I'll Be All Smiles Tonight is another great song. No murder in it, but...
no gospel in it either.
Well, no, that's true. But another song, I Love You Best of All, which is the only positive, totally positive country song that I know, is ours. I think that for the sake of commercialism and so much money, it's all about money today, I think that they want songs that will go to #1 in the charts. Folk music don't need a chart, and they never did do well in charts. But there's always been that, even for a murder song, people will listen to it to try to figure out why this guy did it. You know, they do that with a Knoxville Girl especially. I have people all the time, why would this dirty guy do this to a girl? And I said, you didn't listen to the song good. Because in the third verse it said, he says, when he threw her in the river, he said, go down, you Knoxville girl with the dark and roving
That's right.
eyes.
Go down, you Knoxville girl, with the dark and rolling eyes.
So there's still those idiots out there that will say, if I can't have you, nobody can. So that causes a bunch of murders in this country, simply because this guy's in love with her, but she ain't in love with him. And she likes him as a friend, but not to marry. So he comes up with this great plan, you know, if I can't have you, nobody will. So he kills her. And most time, hopefully, he spends the rest of his life in prison. There's a lot of murders that's caused by unattended love.
And that's why these songs have been around for 300 years or more. Right?
Amen. And I think that they'll always be here.